Hey, we're live. Welcome to another typology interview. We have Mary.
Hello.
Hey, Jonathan, son.
Yeah.
So, first of all, nice to meet you. And I think I know your type. You've been typed as an ENFJ, I guess.
No, an ENTJ.
Oh, an ENTJ. Okay, all right. That's interesting. Okay. So yeah, why don't we get into how you started in typology first? We'll start with that, and then we'll get into your type.
I started the op group in May. And before that, I took the MBTI 16personalities.com test, like most people do, out of total just curiosity, just playing, and then I'd have my boys take the test and my daughter take the test. And so then I got on this kick where I wanted everybody I knew to take this test and give me the results because I was just really fascinated by it all. And
Right.
then, like I said, I started the class in May. And once I found, Dave's superpowers online, he was super fascinated me. Plus, I was really confused. Like, what is he talking about? Like, it just, it's different. And it took me a while to figure that out. I did watch other ones like, I tested an INFJ online, that MBTI thing. And then I was watching, what is his name? Frank James. I was watching Frank for a while. And then he also mentioned OP, whatever. So it might have been my trigger to go look it up. And then I also watched C.S. Joseph for a little bit, and I'm still kind of hit and miss with him, but I'm still interested in the subject. So, and that's it. And so I've been in the class since May.
Right. So like, is your sensory then masculine? Because you seem to be tracking time, okay, but
no, they said it was feminine sensory.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you identify with that?
I'm not sure. I was really thrown off by the NI, because everybody was helping me online and I had no idea how to see myself. I don't know. If the test didn't tell me, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's kind of funny. But, everybody kept saying they saw sensory, and I do have a bad memory. I mean, I do, just for sure. So, and as far as the feminine sensory, I think I was online the other day, and it was one of the people on there had a feminine sensory funny haha post, and they were asking questions. And for example, we went out for New Year's Eve, and I bought our tickets online. And on the phone screen, it had that the screen was at the top, and it said screen, which is a white line screen, and then it had all of the seats. And I tried to pick our seat in the back. I thought, I chose second row, thinking it was just switched around. So that was so I do stuff like that all the time. I don't know if that's considered sensory.
That anyone could do, I think. Like I could also make that sort of mistake as well. Yeah.
I do make a lot of silly little things like that. But see, she also, I don't know if I should tell you more of my type, but she typed me as a visual, which means, and I always feel like that I'm real sharp with like looking around the room, and I'm real detail oriented about my space. And like this room, we haven't been in this room for a couple of weeks, so it's a mess. But I don't know, I draw, I'm an artist. I like details, I suppose. And I guess that's why I thought that I was more sensory. And then the NI kind of threw me off, because I'm like, well, do I have that? But I do. I think I do.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I am a planner. And then I'm confused by is planner SI or NI, or it's both, right?
Right. Yeah. It could be both.
And I do control. I like to control situations by completely. Like if I'm going to plan a vacation, for example, in my mind, it's like a role play. Like I'm starting from the beginning and literally second by second to the end of that trip is going to be planned out in my head. And then I'll write down lists and figure out what we need. Like if we go to the beach, we'll camp out on the beach, for example. Primitive, tents, so that's a whole lot, right? So I'm trying to think of everything so that even if in the event of rain, this happens, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with that?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I do that a lot. And even with homeschooling, there's a lot to project, to know about and prepare for, And it doesn't always go perfectly. So,
Okay, so then they put you as TE first.
Yeah.
And so is that also, are you then FM, right? That's visual.
Yeah.
So that would put you masculine TE.
Yes.
Is that something that makes sense to you, that like you're really aggressive with your thinking?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And I'm very bossy with my family. And
right.
I think I had an interview. No, I did. I had an interview with Kendrick. And it was
Hmm.
just funny because I said this thing and it's true. It's like, especially with my family, and I almost feel bad for them because I can be really bossy. It's like I want things done a certain way, and I'm in your face about it. So, I mean, that's
Hmm.
masculine TE. I don't know what other definition.
Masculine NI, masculine TE. That's what they put
Of,
you. Yeah, masculine blast, really pushy with the plan, with the tribe.
totally. I don't ask you permission. I tell you, basically,
Right,
especially if you're my family, and so that gets me in trouble with them all day long. So.
right.
These boys that are now, 15 and 16, and then they got this really pushy mother, and
So you push back.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and so do I. So
Right.
yeah.
Do you get the I'm trying to think. So blast is first. Do you go to play next then, or sleep next? Play.
Play.
And is this making sense to you that you're play second?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay.
And so the NI and the play are the two that, because they're saying, I should be extremely extroverted, which that's not how I see myself. I'm not sure how other people see me.
Right.
I don't see myself, like, okay, I'll just use church as an example. So when I go into church, we have a fairly large church, 600 people. That overwhelms me. Like, so I go in and I'm zeroed in on like, find my seat, like put the blinders on. I just, but if I find somebody that I want to talk to or I'm good friends with, I could stand there and talk to them for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes, like, since you're using TE instead of FE, that would make more sense that you're less inclined to be social, I guess, with people.
It's maybe. Like I'll be social if I want to be social, or if I'm in the mood to be social, or if it's the right person. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means, but that's kind of how I do it. And right. As I've gotten older, I've gotten a lot better at being social because I've always blamed my past. Like I have all this baggage of just the way I grew up, very insecure. I don't know how to put it.
I think I saw that in the video you posted, and that's what led me to EJ right away, the insecurity.
Extremely insecure.
Yeah.
And I've gotten better, like, especially like at 40, things just started changing for me, the age. And right. I don't know how that happened for me, but I was very focused on trying to figure out, why does this keep happening to me? Like, and then me and my husband even started going to counseling recently, and that's really been helpful. So yeah, I mean.
So what keeps happening to you? Can you just?
I lose my temper like a lot, and I act like a complete idiot. I'm laughing at myself, but so okay, I'm going to give you an example that happened the other day, and this is very minor, but it was still embarrassing after the fact because I do.
Right. Yeah. So like in the moment, like at the front end, you make the mistake and you have to deal with it on the back end.
Just be civil. Like, okay, I'm in Costco. And this store is an absolute nightmare just to go in. So I go to self-checkout. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to I have 3 items. And right. So I walk over and I get 2 boxes. And I put the 2 boxes on the tray, and then the computer just starts yelling at me, to remove them. Meanwhile, a lot of other things are happening. There's a line starting. There's these 2 ladies that are like, I felt like I was herded cattle. That's the way they made me feel. So that triggered me. They're like, come on, let's go. Let's get in line. And this one's open. And then she's like, ma'am, you don't put the boxes on. And I'm moving them. So I immediately just pick them up and aggressively throw them in my cart to show her, like, I didn't ask for your help. I mean, the machine's telling me already. And then she's there in my face and I don't even give her a look. I mean, and these are things I do, and it's so rude. And like my kids will be so embarrassed because I'll do stuff like this all day long. Like if I go to, there's another grocery store I'll go to, it's called Aldi's. and they have this thing about speed. So they're taking your groceries and literally throwing them in the cart. And I'm like, you're messing up my stuff. Stop it. So then I'm real like pushy about, and then I'll be like, okay, and you put all my stuff in the box. And I'm like so particular about the way I want it done that I'll make a fool out of myself, letting that person know, you're not doing it that way. I'm not loading my groceries 3 different times. I've already put them in and put them on the top, and I'm not going to go over here and stand for another 20 minutes, wasting my time, basically, in my mind. You know, everything's got to quick, fast, let's go. I do not like to shop. So anyway, those are kind of triggers. And even when I'm driving, it's like everybody's just stupid. So, whatever. I don't know what my deal is. And it's like, I feel so immature with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So like, I get that masculine TE calling everyone stupid like that.
Oh, yeah.
And for you, it's not personal. It's not a personal attack. It's just like, what is it for you when you say there's someone stupid? It's not like attacking them personally. It's
probably for me, when it comes to a road, it's the design. Who designs this stuff? Like, you know, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
And here we are. Like, we have all this traffic where I live, and I'm just like, this could be so much better. Mm-hmm. And then and it just frustrates me. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I just want to go. No. And then sometimes there are people that are in the fast lane. You know, I'm always on highways. So he's in the fast lane and he's going 45 when the speed limit's 60. Like, what are you doing? Just like, I don't know. I think it's rude to do that. And just,
yeah.
So this is my immaturity. Like, this is the stuff that I feel like that are tidal waves. Like, and if I were, but the point is I always overreact to the point that I embarrass myself.
So like the tidal waves are usually coming in on the back end. So
right.
Like the front end is where you're using your saviors too much. And then the back end is where you have to suffer for that, where like the repercussions come. So those are the tidal waves. Usually it's on the back end. Okay. So what you're describing is a lot of the front end stuff. So when you actually have to deal with the consequences of that behavior.
I would say it is the FI, and how I think that and understand it's because now I feel bad, and now I have to like apologize and like look at you in the eyes. And I'm all about looking people in the eyes until I'm the one who's messed up. Like when I mess up and then I have to like, and I'm okay with saying I'm sorry, but sometimes I'm just an idiot. Like that ticket, like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And I've accepted it. It's like my punishment. Like, okay, no, you can't drive your school bus because you did this. You're an idiot. Like, you shouldn't have done it that way.
Right. Yeah. So we were talking a bit before, and you explained that to me. It's just for the audience. So you got a speeding ticket, and there's because of that, you're not allowed to drive your school bus anymore. And you weren't even driving your school bus. You were driving a car. Right. And because you got a speeding ticket, you're not allowed to drive a school bus.
Right. And I bet I would have got the ticket if I would have at least, you know, been acknowledged his presence. I was so rude to this cop. Like, it was bad.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Like, he probably would have been nicer to me. You'll have a CDL. Cops are really nice to people who have a CDL. They're like, oh, you know, they know this is your job. So like, you know.
Right.
So, but I was, oh gosh, anyway. And then I always regret everything I do. Like, so I don't know if that's a tidal wave, but that's the stuff that bothers me about myself. So
like, does it feel like you're being more impulsive then in the moment?
Only
like reactionary?
Only when I'm angry. If I'm upset about something, I can, Uh-huh. Even when I'm driving, like I'll just like, I'm an aggressive driver and I'm whizzing in and out, and sometimes I make mistakes. And it's like, oh, that could have been really bad. Mm-hmm. And then I look like the person that I would get upset about.
Right. That's really cool how honest you're being. And thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. So like, do you feel like you're doing that because you're so vulnerable inside that you put off this? Do you feel like you're doing this strong front thing because you don't want anyone to get close to you, or because you're protecting yourself in a way?
Oh,
you're
yeah.
Being defensive?
I could say so. I mean, that seems like a vortex, like that answer. Because all of my life, you know, I have major trust issues. And I don't know if I've put up this front, and I can say like emotionally when it comes to relationships, I've definitely done that.
Right.
For sure. Like, absolutely. But in the moment of like the grocery store and driving. What is that? It's almost like there's another problem. I almost feel like I have another problem and that I take it out on the situation. Or is it the situation? But I'm truly, really focused on the situation. I can't answer that question. I'm not really sure. But I know that's true when it comes to relationships with people because I'm real guarded.
I'm wondering if you have consume next. Is that like a double activated play? Is that what's going on?
No.
No.
No, yeah, you're right. Consume is next and then play. I haven't looked at it in a little bit.
No, consume and then sleep?
Consume and then sleep. That's what I meant. Sorry.
You have sleep last?
Sleep last, yes.
Okay, so you're also info dominant. Okay. So yeah, so that's a double activated play. So you, so you would be more leaning towards in the moment, which is kind of weird that they would have typed you as an EJ then, like you control over chaos. Do you get that chaos causes tidal waves? Like are you planning for the chaos constantly, or you embrace it?
I do plan for the chaos constantly. Yes.
Yeah.
But I plan driving, and I can't. It's always the situations that I can't control. Okay. So
I see. Okay.
When I was in a hurry the other day, and it took me on a toll road, and I went 5 miles on the toll road, and I had to pay $4 and something, and I was so mad about that because usually I'm going to sit down with the whole GPS and I'm going to figure it out. Okay, do I want to go this way, this way, or this way? Well, I didn't have time for that. I just had to punch it in and drive. Anyway, and then I had to pay $4 and I was not happy. Anyway, I'm silly. I feel silly. Like, why does this upset me? So people just let it go. And my husband nothing bothers him, it feels like. But for me.
Right. So it's the chaos that bothers you, like the lack of control, the
lack of control. Yeah, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I'm thinking of the definition correctly. So when I think of chaos, I think of just, an environment that I can't control.
Yeah.
So yeah, like even when I'm trying to, earlier years when I would sit at the whiteboard with the boys and I would try to talk to them and teach them something.
Right.
They're brothers and they're together and they're really close in age. And
you're homeschooling, you were saying. Yeah.
They're off, like stop and listen to me. And so then I would always take it to this level that now nobody's having fun. They just, it's
right.
They were too far this way and I'm too far this way.
So like even your reaction to the chaos is more control sort of thing?
It's always anger, whatever that looks like.
Okay. All right.
And that's another reason I was attracted to the personality. So I can just try to manage or understand what my issues are. Like, is this a function stack problem? Or is this just life in my past problem? Or is this just me, how I'm going to be? I don't know.
That's interesting that it's anger, because you're supposed to have feminine feelings, and feminine feelings are less aggressive. They're more, fight now and then break down and cry later. I
do that. I
okay.
Totally will come at you. And this is embarrassing to admit, but in school, I'm not somebody who graduated high school. I didn't go to college. And so my mom moved us to all these different schools. And so I was poor and I was redheaded and I just had a lot of issues, so much. And so I was always in fistfights. Here I am, literally. I didn't even weigh 100 pounds until I'm 18 years old. Like, I shouldn't be fighting people like with literal fists. And I have so many times. And and then I would cry later, always. Or even if it's just an argument with my husband, I'm going to come at you with both barrels. And I know just what to say to get under your skin, believe me. And then I'm going to cry. So, and I don't know, I'm so mean. I can be so mean. It's ridiculous. And then, so that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to figure it out as I go, and I don't have it figured out at all yet. I mean, it's getting better, but yeah.
Okay, we got a question here from Asa. How did you realize this was a problem for you?
Which part?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, like thinking I have a lot of issues. Like, I don't know, the anger issue, maybe.
What about like checking things off a list in terms of play? Like, you got double activated play. So do you feel like that's what you're doing a lot? Like, you need permission to go and do something for yourself? You need to first do what you need to do? Yeah.
I
Like you're
always,
responsible to that?
always, yes, definitely. You know, and I've gotten better at putting myself on the list. You know, that's something I guess that's growth. I don't know, but I've decided that, you know, that what I need is just as important as what they need. For example, you know, I take care of the boys. I told you that I have a granddaughter and my daughter's married and I have all those different, I have all these different roles. And then on top of what I'm doing, working, wife, boys, homeschooling, grandma, whatever, I take care of an elderly man who can't read or
Oh,
write. And so I manage his bills and I take him to the grocery store and I do everything he needs. And he's one out of three people that I've done this for. And I've just recently, now I only have one. And I've gotten to the point where I'm not doing that anymore. And it was weird because I don't even know how that happens. It's like I feel really bad for them so that I don't want to help them. And yet at the same time, the whole process of helping a guy that can't read or write and he's just smart enough to manipulate you, he makes me so annoyed that I just want to go and strangle him. And he's like 67. I mean, seriously,
right.
old man. And he can't read or write. So he's got his own apartment. And, you know, I have it all set up. Like, even if for him to operate a stove, he knows don't touch the oven. That's a bad idea. So he's learned. And I had to mark the dials so that he knew where to put it. Just, you know, you have to go always the extra step. And the hardest part with him is the phone. Okay, flip phones were one thing. Now you have all these smartphones. And you hand it to somebody that can't. They just can't. And so I know at least every 2 weeks he's got an issue with his phone. It's not working. It's not this. It's not that. And the whole FI thing, I kind of feel like somehow that's tied into why I keep doing this. Like, why do I keep taking care of these people? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I don't, he's going to like literally be in the system and who knows what'll happen or where he'll end up.
So like you feel responsible to help him? Like you're getting paid for it though, no?
No,
Oh, wow. Okay.
no, I don't get paid for it.
So like that's the TE then, like wanting to make things work for other people?
Yeah. And
Right.
he's got it now, but he's one of these, he's a little immature 8-year-old in his mind. And so he throws fits, literally. So just imagine a 6-year-old man throwing a fit because that's what he does.
Wow.
It's interesting.
And so like, so do you do that often, I guess? Maybe go out of your way to help do things for people?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like, this morning, you know, church is a priority for me, but I didn't go to church today because Kayla, my daughter, asked me if I'd come and watch the baby while she went to an appointment. And so, and then she's even a person who's made me feel bad about putting myself first. Like I would say, no, I'm going to church that morning. And she would say
Oh, wow.
stuff like, you know, oh, you're just going to put that before me. You know, this is my daughter.
Right.
So
So she's manipulating you. She's like pushing on your buttons there.
yes. And
Yeah.
yes, she's really hurt my feelings a lot over the years. And I know I've hurt her feelings too. You know,
Right.
I'm not in this whatsoever. But I feel obligated. Like, yes, she asked me. I have to say yes. I have to go take care of. So I went this morning and I spent my whole morning at Kayla's house watching Letty, which was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't say no. The only time I ever
say no.
it's absolutely impossible. Like, it's not going to work. And literally my head is spinning and I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, okay, so how am I going to work this in? And then usually I would stress myself out to the max to work it in, especially if I'm already too busy. But,
okay.
Yeah.
We have a point here. I don't know who this is, but female ENTP says, you're doing awesome, Mary, because most TE and I wouldn't care about typology and the metaphysical structure that coordinates mentality with existence.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why I care. I just want to figure myself out, I think.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, I think that's something with a lot of EJs is they, especially TE users, is they need to figure themselves out because they don't innately know, I guess.
I don't.
Right.
Just don't. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Anyway,
Right.
you do.
So,
You,
okay.
you feel crazy. Like I would feel crazy.
Are you aware of your FI then in this whole thing?
Um, this is, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel about a lot. The problem with me is in the moment. Like when I'm in the moment is when I don't use it. It's
Right. You're not aware of how you're feeling in the moment.
right. No,
Uh-huh.
I don't really think about it until later, like you're laying in bed maybe. And
Right.
then, yeah,
So
I don't,
that masculine TE reaction is actually because of some FI reason in the background that you're just not aware of.
maybe, I don't know. I don't know how
Okay.
to wrap my head around that yet. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because like I said, just like when I'm in that, when I was in Costco and she's telling me what to do, and I felt like I was herded cattle. I said that because that's how they made me a lot, and that's what it appeared like everybody was being treated. So I just took that personally,
Right.
and then I lash out. So where's
Uh-huh.
that? I'm not worried about her feelings, obviously, right?
So
Is that
do you think maybe you felt responsible for everyone else there to make it work for everyone else? Like you were standing up for others, not just yourself?
I didn't address anybody else. I didn't even say anything. It was just what I did. But
Right.
this is what I was thinking. And that's what made me mad. And then I let her know that I didn't appreciate. She knew I didn't appreciate her help. Like just, I'm in self checkout. I'm thinking to myself, I'm in self checkout for a reason. Please leave me alone. Like I don't know. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know. It sounds silly. It sounds really silly.
We have a question here. Does your daughter not want to go to church with you?
Kayla used to always go to church with me. Now that she's married, she goes to church occasionally, and she's figuring that stuff out. And even she's been going to counseling recently, so that's been good. And our relationship is a whole lot better than it was 6 months ago. And I think it's because I started counseling, she started counseling, and then I've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure my daughter's an EJ also. I'm pretty sure she's, but I think she's more ESFJ. That's my guess on her because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's very
Are you,
sensitive.
does it feel like you're looking for that immediate feedback as well, that you're doing a good job, that like that sort of validation thing, that you're doing what you need to be doing?
I've tried to process that. Maybe I
Yeah.
know I do want people to recognize.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's always been my comeback on when I talk to my kids or something. You're like, I have given up my entire life for you.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and of course they can come back. Well, I didn't ask to be homeschooled. Whatever they'll say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's true. You didn't ask to be homeschooled, but
But like, so you are looking for that appreciation. Like you feel that that's what would give you meaning, maybe.
I don't even know how to define it, but I do appreciate it when people notice. And I always want to go out of my way to tell somebody else when they've done something for me that thank you, and I really appreciate you being this thoughtful. I got a girlfriend from church, and she's married. My boys and her boys are friends, and so she invites us all over to her house for supper. And oh my gosh, she like it was Thanksgiving dinner, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just an evening, and it was she's such a gift for like hospitality, and I was just like, whoa, I feel way too special. And I just kept saying it over and over and over to her, probably almost to an annoyance, that how much I appreciated her doing this. I mean, it was
Right.
it was overwhelming to me to be
Do
that
you,
nice to us.
do you think that gives you confidence if people are appreciating you? Do you think it boosts your
So,
self-worth?
yes, because there was this time a few years ago, I was tutoring. It's called Classical Conversations, and it's a homeschool thing. So all these moms get together, and it's kind of like a co-op. And what we do is we design classes. And so you have between 6 and 10 kids in your class. And so I tutored one year because I had to in order to pay for it. So I made money being a tutor, and I would tutor like 8 to 10 kids. And my voice would be in a different class usually. And I had literal anxiety and panic attacks every night before. And I would spend hours preparing. They were definitely not paying me enough for the time I put in.
Yeah.
But I was so worried that I was going to mess this up. Like, I have all these kids in front of me and they're not mine. And they're going to, and I have to teach this stuff, and it was so laid out for me. It's not like it should have even been a really big challenge, because it's like so laid out that, anyway, I just needed to be the mouthpiece in so many words. But for example, part of that was to teach tin whistle. This is really funny. Teach tin whistle, right? I don't know music. And so I'm trying to learn the music and myself before I can teach it to these children. And then we would have to put on a big recital at the end at Christmas, and I'm in charge of that. Oh my gosh.
Right.
But I learned so much through that. And so after that, my favorite thing to say was, I have to push myself out of my comfort zone, because I had so much growth.
Wow. Yeah.
Cool.
And
I did that for like 3 years.
Do you feel like that happens a lot, where the work you put in beforehand sort of prepares you for it? Like, you need to have that time before?
Yes.
You can't just jump into the moment right away?
Well, I can with my kids, because I'm relaxed and I don't have any nervous problem.
Right.
But be in front of a bunch of people, I literally will go blank. Like, I won't be able to think or speak.
Right.
Depending on how nervous I am, because that's happened. Like, we'd have we'd have 150 people in an auditorium, and it's my turn to speak. I'm sorry, that intimidates me just a little bit. And if you don't understand the homeschool environment, everybody, oh my gosh, everybody is so critical of each other. It drives me crazy. Big computer game, okay? Believe me, I'm not the smartest one. Most others all have masters.
Okay, so I see the people thing here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh, I didn't even graduate high school. I'm gonna teach your kids." So
wow. Yeah.
I'm insecure about that anyway. Anyway, homeschooling, I think, has been for me over the years more than it's been for my kids.
Do you get the thing also where you think everything should be fair, everyone's equal, no one's above anyone else? Is that sort of like something natural for you, where we're all in this together?
Definitely, yes. And I can see where I think that way all the time, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, I keep mentioning church, but that's kind of what we do. So you have a pastor, and anytime I ever explain anything to my boys, I'm like, he's a man. He's just like you. He's just like me. He's going to have problems just like you, just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And don't ever don't ever let a pastor get to a point in his mind that he thinks that he's better than everyone else because of his position, for example. So, and I use that one a lot. And there's other scenarios I could probably think of, but yeah.
What about authority figures and stuff? How do you feel about people who are in positions of authority?
I have been a rebel for a really long time.
Yeah. What if someone deserves to be in that position of authority? Is that still sort of awkward and weird then?
Sometimes I will listen. It's always if I think it makes sense. Like, if I will listen 110% if this is absolutely necessary and makes sense in my mind. But when it doesn't, I'm going to sit and question it, and even probably go around it, and if I could or can, without being too many consequences for my actions. So I've always had a problem with authority, and I don't know how that relates to my personality, but it does relate to my upbringing. I had 3 stepdads, and it's just ridiculous how much I was done. Like, I'm not listening to anybody. Like, you're not my boss. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just sound like a little spoiled 5-year-old. And then by the time Mom married her 3rd husband, he's 4 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
So major issues with that. But like, you're not even trying to tell me what to do, right? Like, you're 4 years older than me. So I had issues. I had like lots. And so anyway, I moved out of my house when I was 15, like myself, and I got my own place at 17. Mm-hmm. So, and I didn't do everything right, but I was really determined, like, I can do this. I got this. And as far as authority, I mean, that's where I'm at with it. It's like I get, but then with the boys now in CC's, I call classical conversations, go back to that again. That's the homeschool tutoring thing I did. And they have all these rules. And all those rules were legit. Like, we're doing every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my boys would get really mad at me because I'm the enforcer, and they saw other kids were breaking the rule. Why can't they do this? And no, you're my kid, and you're going to sit here and you're going to do it the right way, and that's that. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can't make rules if we have to.
Tell me about standards. Do you hold yourself up to certain standards? Do you expect other people to live up to those standards as well?
Yeah.
Would you feel hypocritical if you didn't live up to the standards?
I am a hypocrite. I totally see it. But yes, I have those. I have that. I see that as a problem because I do have high standards that I can't even meet myself, but I expect others to do it. And I know that's true about me. And then I'm mad at myself for it in the end. And that'll be one of those moments where I'm just going to lash out and go home or go back and cry later because I'm an idiot and I shouldn't have done it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like, why can't I just shut my mouth and think first before I speak? Because that has been a trial of mine from probably the moment I turned 13.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Do you feel like you hold other people to those same standards that you hold yourself to?
I do. Yeah, because I'm always, why wouldn't you do it this way?
Right.
The way I think you should do something. And why don't you care? Like me, I think my son's an EP. He drives me nuts. And at
least he's taking that role with you.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds like you need an EP to break you a little bit.
He'll look at me and says, I really don't care, Mom. I really don't care. Can't you tell I don't care? I'm like, he'll just be so rude. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill him. That's what it feels like. But anyway, and so back to the standards, it's like, I expect him to care. Like, this is important, whatever it is. He doesn't think so.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk and talk and talk and talk. And then they call it 20-minute speeches. I don't want to hear anymore. I'm done. Okay.
You're getting lots of positive comments from female NTP. I hope you take a look at this afterwards as well. I'm just going to put another one here. Have you ever thought of being a firefighter?
No, I haven't.
No idea. It's a random ENTP question there.
Firefighter. I mean, but being a school bus driver can be pretty intense at moments. Okay.
Right.
I've had cars actually hit my bus. That's always fun.
Oh, wow.
The bus wins every time, by the way.
Yes, definitely the bus wins. Yeah. Okay, so what about your SE? Are you aware of that at all? Are you aware of the details you're picking up? I guess you're considered a SCIB. You're double activated on the SE. Yeah,
I thought I was very detailed, or I keep saying detailed because I kind of see that as sensory.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. I love photography. I love pictures, and maybe this is a feminine sensory thing, like reading. Oh my gosh! So I'm not a big reader, but I'm a big, like, knowledge. I want to know things. So I'm one of these people that I cannot. The book, like, I don't read the introduction. I'm skimming everything and trying to get to what I want out of that book. Like, to read it line for line, that makes me crazy. Like, I can't do that. I don't know if that's feminine sensory.
Yeah, that sounds like a low consume at least. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, at nighttime, it's like, that's the only time I'll sit and look at my phone, watching videos, maybe reading articles.
Right. So what do you have to do in order to give yourself permission to do that at night? Well,
I think I've said this before, but maybe not in this interview, but just I've said it before. In the last couple of, maybe a year or a year and a half, I've started to just go to my bedroom and shut the door. Like, why didn't I discover this earlier? Like, it's been great. So I just go to my room and I literally, it's my chill time. The guys, my husband and the two boys, had to learn to just leave me alone. Like, so I'm laying there doing my thing in the bed, reading my phone, watching something. I don't know. I'm just by myself and it's great.
Uh-huh.
And I don't
And it's taken you a while to get to that point?
know.
Like this is not something you were doing before?
Never.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so what do you think changed that allowed you to do that?
I don't even know. I think it's because I had less responsibility in the evening because the boys are big. You know, dinner's made. They all help me clean it up because I make them. So
I love how honest you're being.
right? I'm just like all in your face. And that's the way I am with them all the time.
Right.
Anyway.
Is that something you value, like telling the truth, being blunt, being honest like that?
Yes, I would appreciate that very much so. Don't be fake with me. I cannot handle it. And if I think you're fake, I won't like you. So yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
So,
anyway,
so tell me about fake. How do you see someone as fake?
my brother has a girlfriend that he's been with since he was in high school, and they should be married, but they're not. So they've been together for 20 years or more. And this girl, from day one of meeting her, she's like, "Oh, hi, Mary. How are you?" And she does this whole voice thing, body, and hugging me, and 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 anything. So even if if the baby's in the room, she's so pretty, and she's freaking out and just acting up, all this drama, like to me, and I'm always just like,
And so you don't think that could be genuine? You think that's fake?
well, let me put it this way. Now that I know her, it's definitely not genuine.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so that's one side of her. And then she'll go home with my brother, and they literally get in fistfights, the two of them. So it's pretty crazy. She becomes this roaring lion, like mean. I'm mean. But these are just the things that I've seen and witnessed over the years. And so I see her as a very fake person. And then there'll be times that they just lie to me. I'll call them up and I'll try to invite them over, because I try to get the family together. My family is an absolute Jerry Springer nightmare, like seriously.
Okay.
So then I try to like make some sort of normal out of it. And so come on over, we'll get the kids together or do something, And then instead of them just saying, no, we don't want to, like I can handle that better than all of this 3-paragraph long text of some drama that happened that wasn't real. And then I called them out. I'm like, you know what? I can handle the truth, please. Just tell me what. I don't know. So to me, that's, I don't know. I guess it's the lying is where I see that they're fake. And then she does the whole show when she's in my face. Like she has got, almost like she's trying to impress me or something. I don't know what it is. But
it sounds like she's using FE to some extent. Like maybe they're trying to be considerate of you, like not telling you that they don't want to come, like that would offend you, and rather
maybe. And that's very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also like with that masculine TE, I can see how you'd be a little bit scary to confront and say the truth to.
I have totally sat in their face many times. Yes.
Right. So like, I don't know. I'm just pushing back a little bit here. So
okay.
maybe, so maybe they're like being a little more careful, and it's backfiring on them, I guess, by being fake. It's causing even worse. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit too nuts for them. That's okay. I can handle it.
Yeah. But like you would appreciate it. Like, would you react better, you think, if they were just in front, up in front with you and being like, wait, we don't feel like it, and that's it?
Stop inviting them. That would be, yeah. Because my mom, she drives me nuts. Anyway, she says stuff like, I can't believe that you guys lived 10 minutes away from each other and you never see each other. Like I haven't seen my brother in months. Why? And your mom lives like 3 or 4 hours away. And in true West Virginia. Anyway, so she's like, I can't believe it, Mom. And then Mom will try to give me this guilt trip. Art is not able to, he doesn't have any food, and his car's not running, and you're going to let him starve. She'll say stuff like that to me. And that's their life patterns. They always are in this absolute like dire straits all the time. Like they
And
don't.
do you feel responsible to help them?
I have always helped them if I can. I have finally set up a rule for myself, probably at least 10 or 15 years ago. If I do not have money, in other words, I will give you money that I never expect back. It's never going to be a loan.
Right.
So my rule is if I have the money and you ask me for $20 or you ask me for whatever, then I will give it to you. And I don't
Can I have $20? No, I'm
right.
kidding.
With my brother, he is so talented. Like he's a mechanic and he can fix anything. So anytime I have a problem with my car, I usually call Art. I'm like, hey, come, instead of paying this mechanic bill, my husband's not a mechanic, so we always have to pay these ridiculous bills just for car repair. So I can get Art down here. And he kept telling me the last time, I'm coming. 5 days go by. I'm like, okay, fine. I can't wait anymore. I take my car to get it repaired. And it cost me something like $900 because I had a radiator. It's ridiculous. A radiator, come on. Like in my mind, I'm like, we could do this. Like I'm ready to go out there and do it myself. But anyway, Art didn't show up. So I just sent him a text and told him, I'm like, okay, I already, and then he's like sending me a text almost at the same time and wants to know if he can borrow like a couple hundreds of dollars because his electric's going to get turned off. And I'm like, Art, I don't have any money. Like I just spent it on my car. I was going to pay you, and I would have. I probably would have paid him at least $300 or $400, plus the part. I would have bought the part myself.
Right. Yeah.
And that would have been his electric money because I always know he needs money.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he does an excellent job. And so yeah, I guess I'm trying to make it work for him. Like, hey, here's you a job. I will pay.
It's also nicer too to give money, keep money in the family, sort of thing, rather than give it to some garage. Yeah.
He's even replaced. We had the Subaru one time and the head gaskets blew on it. He tore that entire motor down and put it back together and it ran perfectly.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive. He never went to school.
Wow.
He's so talented, but yet I don't know what they do with their money. So there's that. So anyway, I don't know where we were going with all that, but that's just like they lie to me all the time. I don't know.
Yeah. So, okay. So when do you sleep? Because we haven't really even mentioned that. It sounds like you're always go, go, go. Like I agree with the sleep last now. Because like, I don't see you taking the time to process. Are you doing that more now?
I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Like, and I think the only way that's going to work, and I almost feel like it's worse these days, like these days. Right. This thing keeps me completely distracted. Like whenever I have a moment to just do nothing, be in a room and not have the TV on, not have, just do nothing, I'll pick up the phone.
Uh-huh.
So
what about like driving and stuff? I guess radio and stuff. I don't know.
Still on something, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm usually it's either the kids are in the car with me and they'll have their earphones in and I'm like, take them out anyway. And then if I let them keep their earphones in, then I'm going to just listen to music or I'll have a YouTube video playing because I'll just hook it through my radio and all that speakers.
What about like a cry routine or something like that? Have you tried to implement that? Like,
I was just looking at that recently.
Yeah.
You were commenting online about that. And no, that I almost do eye roll with this cry routine thing. Like, what? And then they come out with another video about what they meant. And I'm sitting here drawing a blank because it's too new of information for me to be able to tell you it back. But have you seen it? Are you in the class?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Yeah.
Did you see it? So I got a little different feel out of that video for what it means to have a cry routine. Doesn't mean literally just go and try to force yourself to cry, even though that's the way it was interpreted. But it seems like the way
unloading the emotional pressure that's building up.
Thinking and feeling should go together. And the way I think about something also is how I come to conclusions about how I feel about things, something like that. I don't even know properly, but if I'm watching TV and it's a cry scene, I will cry, but then I don't want anybody to see me do it. I don't know what that's
Yeah.
all. It's almost embarrassing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a lead thinker too. It's embarrassing to cry. It's like,
Yeah. And if somebody else is crying, I get like, robot, like, I don't know what to do with you.
right.
And so I've learned, because I have kids, that all I do is just hold them. I don't say anything because I don't know what else to do. Like, I can do this part.
Mhm.
So
What about when you cry? What do you expect other people to do? Or you just do it on your own?
but yeah, I don't. Recently, I had a thing happen with my daughter, and this was about at least 3, 4, 5 months ago. She really hurt my feelings. It was back in the summer. And when I noticed it, okay, so I read this thing and then it just tore me up. Like I just bawling, like heaving cries. Okay, it was bad. But I have to go to Walmart because I'm in my car. And so I get into Walmart and I didn't cried all my makeup off. Like you can't see, and I'm real. Like when I don't have makeup on, it's all white, like white eyelashes, the whole thing. So and my face gets blood red, and it doesn't go away for hours. That's why I don't want to do it so dramatic. Okay.
So you have this excuse here.
I'm in Walmart, and one of my friends, Mary, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like please don't look at me. And so she's like, and she's touching my shoulders and she's touching me and she's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was just like, no, make it stop. Like, I'm so like annoyed that I have to talk about this right now to you. And I'm literally walking around the store as rude as I can be, not looking at people like I'm trying to get in and get out, right? And that was dramatic for me. Like, I don't want to do it in front of people.
Yeah. And well, I guess also it's FI as well. So like emotions with other people is kind of not what you do with FI. It's really emotions for the self.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this all out.
What about getting the chemicals moving and stuff like that? Do you try to move yourself emotionally?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, I probably should try that. I don't even know what that looks like. I'm like, what am I?
Yeah, me neither. I'm just talking out of my those weird trailers. What are they doing? Chemicals? Come on.
Like, no. Okay. And the other thing, it's weird. And I don't know if this is just probably DNA in the, like every time I get really, any type of emotion, I get real red through here. And if I laugh too much, my eyes literally water like I'm crying every single time. What is that? Like I'm thinking, I'm sure it's not connected to FI. It's just some weird thing.
Could be feminine FI. Could be feminine feelings where you're easily moved emotionally. You're very affected. Yeah.
Like my wedding day, it was embarrassing. Like I was embarrassed because of course, it's really emotional that day, Anyway. And I was like, I had this pretty little dress and it was kind of a lower, and then I had this little chain around my neck and I was so red. Oh, it was terrible. Anyway, it's terrible. But
well, that's a great note to end on. We can. I'm wondering if you have something to promote, or you have any extra information about your type, maybe that you want to give over before we sign off.
I don't know.
Or a general message that you want to give to people. Stop being stupid. I don't know.
I don't know what people are going to take away from this video. I've been really raw, and that's how I live my life. I live my life in the truth. Like it's got to be who I try to be who I am, but there's an exception to that really quick. So if I'm going to an event, I always have all this like anxiety about, I guess, how I'm going to perform. And that's something I've been really working on. So is to be myself all the time. Right now I'm being myself. Like I'm really being myself. And I'm trying to do that everywhere I go and stop overthinking. Well, I said this and they said this and we did this and they probably think, that hole that you'll find yourself in. So maybe that's my message, is just be yourself. Oh my gosh, that's my thing I'm trying to do right now. And if you don't,
yeah, that's a discovery message for any EJ as well. Yeah, be yourself, get in touch with your own inner identity and stuff. You got a whole bunch of nice comments here. I haven't been posting them, but we got like, thank you, Mary, and I did the exclamation thing. I love when I cry over some commercial. So much explanation of why crying is not a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
So take a look at that afterwards as well.
I actually I had mine on private chat and I just clicked over and turned on the live comments. That would have distracted me. So I'm glad I did.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you for all your help from the beginning until now. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. No problem.
Okay. Bye.